A wonderful day to our college students, school officials, and administrators who are with us via Zoom and tuned in this afternoon in our UE Manila GCCSO YouTube channel. I am Ms. Lira Daza from the Guidance, Counseling, and Career Services Office of UE Manila, and welcome to another webinar entitled Weep It. This afternoon's program focuses on guiding our college students in realizing the work ethics, attitude, and productivity strategies that are in demand nowadays in the workforce. Before we begin, may we just remind our attendees inside the Zoom to kindly rename yourselves with your college dash your complete name for monitoring purposes. We also encourage our viewers via our UE Manila GCCSO YouTube channel to actively participate with us by typing in your questions for our resource speaker in our comment section, and these will be addressed later during our open forum. Let's now get straight to the program. Let us prepare ourselves for the Doxology, which will immediately be followed by the singing of our Philippine national anthem.
We pray for blessings, we pray for peace, comfort for family, protection while we sleep. We pray for healing, for prosperity. We pray for your mighty hand to ease our suffering, and all the while you hear each spoken need. Yet love is way too much to give us lesser things. 'Cause what if your blessings come through raindrops? What if your healing comes through tears? What if 1,000 sleepless nights are what it takes to know you're near? What if trials of this life are your mercies in disguise? We pray for wisdom, your voice to hear, and we cry in anger when we cannot feel you near. We doubt your goodness, we doubt your love, as if every promise from your word is not enough. And all the while you hear each desperate plea, and long that we'd have faith to believe. 'Cause what if your blessings come through raindrops? What if your healing comes through tears? And what if 1,000 sleepless nights are what it takes to know you're near? And what if trials of this life are your mercies in disguise? When friends betray disappointments or the aching of this life is the revealing of a greater thirst this world can't satisfy. And what if trials of this life, the rain, the storms, the hardest nights, all your mercies in disguise?
Bayang magiliw, kailas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, buyot ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisigil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdiningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
To give us her welcome message, may we call on the Director of the Guidance Counseling and Career Services Office, Dr. Maria Leonila V. Urea.
Good afternoon, our dear students. Do you know that your values are the essential part of who you are and who you want to be? When you are able to identify or become aware of these values, you can use them as a guide to make the best choice in any situation. There are some life decisions that need to determine what you value most. And when many options seems logical, it's useful and reassuring to rely on your values and use them as a strong guiding force to point you in the right direction. These values will also be reflected on how you work or study now and in the foreseeable future. So, listen and immerse yourself in the talk of our young and accomplished UE alumna who have found her niche in the field of medicine. She will lead you to her journey to productivity and how she steered to her present milestone. We hope that at the end of this webinar, you would be invigorated to be passionate to see your future. Keep up the good work, warriors.
Thank you, Dr. Urea, for your inspiring words. Let us just run through a few reminders before we head on to the webinar proper. May we request once again our attendees inside this Zoom meeting to kindly rename yourselves with your college - your complete name for monitoring purposes. Second, to interact with us and with our invited resource person, please type in your questions in our YouTube comment section. And we also have collated your questions during our pre-registration, and these will all be addressed later during our open forum. We would also like to know from you how we can further improve our guidance programs and services through your feedback. Before the end of our program, we will be posting the link to our activity evaluation, so stay tuned. And now, to introduce our esteemed resource person, please join me in welcoming the Guidance Counselor for College of Arts and Sciences and College of Engineering, Ms. Anne Joyzel Enverzo.
Thank you, Ms. Clara. Our teacher is a full true UE warrior. She finished her Doctor of Medicine from the University of the East Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Medical Center and her bachelor's of psychology in the University of the East with a summa cum laude honor. Her achievements included, aside from being a summa cum laude graduate, is being a scholar at UERMMC and awarded champion in the 46 APMC Annual National Convention for Student Paper Poster Competition, Clinical and Community category. She worked as deployed resident physician under the Department of Pediatrics in Oriental Mindoro Provincial Hospital and currently a junior consultant at Department of Pediatrics among Rodriguez Memorial Medical Center. Currently, she is also affiliated with the Philippine Medical Association. Let us give a warm virtual applause to Miss Blessy Prieto. Dr. Blessy.
Hi, thank you, ma'am. Share ko lang po. Start na po ako, ma'am.
Yes, you may take the floor away, Dr. Blessy.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So before we begin, I was told by Ma'am Grace that this will be a not so formal webinar. And so I just prepared simple and practical tips on things you can do to develop good work ethics, attitudes, and productivity, which you can use as a student and as members of the workforce in the future. So how important is ethics in today's society? So a little bit of hard work can go a long way both at school and in the workplace. In fact, a good work ethic can set you up for success. So your work ethic is a mix of the principles that guide you and the discipline to stick to them regardless of the tasks before you. So, and if you hone this skill while you're still at school, so you can bring it on to your career. So first, what is work ethic? So work ethics is a set of moral principles or values that an employee abides by and uses in their job performance. It covers an employee's behavior and attitude towards their job, career, and the workplace. So since our childhood, we know that good work ethics leads to success. But how true is this? How is work ethic related to the productivity and success of a person? So, some of the primary elements of a strong work ethic are professionalism, integrity, respect for the work and fellow teammates, timeliness, and discipline. This value of ethics molds a person into a more responsible and more determined individual, and it impacts all the activities of their day to day life. So, this is Lee Kuan Yew, and under his guidance, Singapore became a financial and industrial powerhouse despite a lack of abundant natural resources. Death from too much work is so common in Japan that there is a word for it, and it's karoshi, which can be translated literally as overworked death. It's a Japanese term relating to occupational sudden mortality. Koreans work long and hard hours without complaint. They seldom need sick leave and they neither ask for nor require extensive vacation time. So, why am I showing you this? It's because although success is important, we have to ask ourselves, do we have the right work ethics and attitudes for success? On the job, in college or at a university, in high school or in primary school, people must work hard to succeed. Nobody sets out to fail, but succeeding is not as simple as merely beginning a task. So Benjamin Franklin once said, people do not plan to fail, they fail to plan. So he was alluding to work ethic. People generally try hard to succeed, but if they do not bring their plans for success to fruition, they will most assuredly fail. So planning every step of a process on the way to success is an important part of a positive work ethic. Some people might think that working hard comes naturally, and perhaps for some this is true. However, as redundant as it sounds, a positive work ethic begins with one main ingredient, and that is real work. So when you work hard in school, you do well, you get recognized by your instructors and peers, and likely receive good grades. Doesn't that make you feel great about yourself? That internal pride is one way a good work ethic helps you. So the work ethic you develop in school can also transfer to the workplace once you start your career. So employers want employees who will do what it takes to get the job done, even if it means putting in extra time and effort. So your dedication could lead to a promotion or a better job one day, and your good work ethic could rub off on your colleagues. So, how would you best describe today's Filipino work ethic? So, today's business environment is not only fast paced, but also highly competitive. So, in order to keep pace and stay ahead, possession of several key work ethics is a plus for achieving a successful career. So, holding key traits such as attendance, character, teamwork, appearance, and attitude add value to both you as a person and your company. So, successful careers come in many flavors, but work ethic is the main ingredient in most recipes for success. So, are we conscious about time? Attendance and punctuality. So, whether one is a student or an employee, attendance is mandatory to ensure success in your personal life. Attendance in the classroom is critical for learning new skills and techniques. Having this knowledge opens doors and presents opportunities for career minded people. As one enters workplace, attendance is necessary to meet the timely obligations of this fast-paced environment. So whether attending classes or taking on the role of CEO, for example, so knowing one's schedule is very important. Absences from school or work should be reported as soon as possible, and this gives authorities time to find another person to help perform your duties while you are away. So plan to return to the workplace as quickly as possible. So good attendance is expected. It is the cornerstone of advancement. Tim Cook, the Apple CEO. So Steve Jobs left incredibly big shoes for Cook to fill. However, the man got the top job for a reason. He's always been a workaholic, and Fortune reports that he begins sending emails at 4:30 in the morning. So a profile in Gawker reveals that he's the first in the office and last to leave. So he used to hold staff meetings on Sunday nights, and in order to prepare for Monday. So that's how hardworking he is. So, how to maintain good attendance? So, should develop the habit of being on time or early for all appointments. So, getting to class ahead of schedule gives you the opportunity to talk with your professor or get mentally prepared by reviewing notes. So, if you're taking classes online, stick with your study schedule, hitting the books at the time you planned. So, when I was a student, I made it a habit to arrive to my classes earlier or on time at best. So, you should make it a habit as early as now because, mind you, it will pay off in the long run. So, a positive work ethic means showing up on time every time and using sick days for their designated purpose rather than a vacation by proxy. So, a negative work ethic, on the other hand, looks to get the most out of the system, according to CNN, often showing up tardy and taking full advantage of sick days and other dates. Furthermore, the way an employee reacts to lax attendance may say a lot about his work ethic. So, a good worker, for instance, may arrive late every once in a while, but also stays late to make up the time. So, a bad worker will assume that showing up late is normal and do so beyond the range of what the company considers acceptable. Next, do we settle for mediocrity? So, stagnation is not a pleasant feeling in life or your career. The best employees will prevent this by seeking to always improve themselves. If this desire isn't noticeable at the interview stage, hiring managers should stay well clear. So, no matter how accomplished an employee seems, without the desire to improve, sooner or later they will be left behind. So, finding employees with a growth mindset is not enough, though. Managers must encourage it and, more importantly, facilitate their employees' learning processes. So, otherwise, with career and personal development missing from part of your employee experience, you'll struggle to hire and keep the best talent available. So independently, seek ways to improve your work performance, such as, for example, taking night classes, attending weekend seminars, or reading industry publications. Next, are we too good for our job? So character. Uh, Character is how others perceive someone. Much like an actor who plays a role, the character traits that one possesses portray an image in others' minds. So one's character develops as action become habits. So these habits reveal one's character. So eventually, this role determines the outcome of one's life. Being aware of your actions and habits, plus improving on faults, strengthens one's character. So here are some of the best composition of a good character: loyalty, honesty, trustworthiness, dependability, reliability, initiative, self-discipline, and self-responsibility. Appearance is one work ethic that really shows. So you should take pride in how people perceive you. So your clothes should be clean and pressed. Make a habit of bathing daily along with such necessities as brushing your teeth and breathing. And behavior affects appearance. So learn to be polite and attend to people's needs. Perhaps one of the best examples of character is Dr. Brian Lima, who helped launch the first heart transplant program on Long Island and currently serves as surgical director of heart transplantation at North Shore University Hospital. So, the son of Cuban immigrants, he overcame significant adversity to achieve admirable success. In his book, Heart to Beat, Dr. Lima recounts how work ethic, drive, and perseverance can often matter more than intellect or natural skill, and he refers to hard work as the poor man's genius. In the book, he explained that while he had no scientific industry role models growing up, his dad definitely instilled in him a strong work ethic and poised his psyche for success. He recalls, "My father drilled into me that everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time. No one is predestined for success. So as he progressed through school while others seemed to sabotage their success by assuming they couldn't achieve as much because they weren't as smart or as skilled, he didn't fall victim to that type of limiting thinking. Instead, he assumed that he just needed to work harder." Next, are you an army of one? So, common sense and barbers have long known that two heads are better than one. Teamwork is what gives strengths to a working force. So, prejudice and stereotyping have no home in teamwork. Learning to cooperate with your teammates as well as being assertive is important in keeping track of things. So, treat your customers or your clients or your patients with genuine respect and manners. They're your friends. So, team members should constantly stay up to date with new learning opportunities, but at the same time, keep confidential information private. So, your trust is assumed and expected. So, having a good work ethic means you cooperate with others. While work may not always be satisfying or enjoyable, you see the bigger picture and do what is necessary for the team and company. So, instead of debating every issue and finding reasons why things can't get done, you use strong conflict resolution skills to solve problems and manage workload. So, Michael Jordan was known for practicing ridiculous hours every day. Eventually, this started to rub off on his teammates, making the Bulls one of the best NBA teams in history when Jordan was the leader. Before regular practice started, Jordan would practice at his house. Over time, Scottie Pippen decided to join him. Pretty soon, most of the team followed suit. So, through sheer work ethic and determination, Jordan recruited his entire team to work harder. So, the accomplishments of that team speak for itself. So, next, attitude is the way you think or feel about a person, place, or thing, a given situation, or even life in general, and it can be influenced by others. So, a professional attitude towards yourself and your chosen career is critical. Learn to adapt to the many multifaceted wonders of life. Be open and accept the changes that will surely come. So, no one likes anyone who brags or whines constantly. So, let your language show positive ideas. And your patient or your client, your customer also deserve the same professionalism that is expected of by all. So be happy, let others know that you are there to help. And of course, stay balanced. So having a good work ethic does not mean keeping your eyes glued to your computer monitor. It includes knowing how to take care of yourself. So getting proper sleep, eating right, taking time to relax and recharge, keeping your priorities in life clear helps you maintain the proper perspective at work. So work ethics have been the backbone of success for centuries. So, by taking the time to develop great work ethics, whether one is in the classroom or the workplace, success will be there for you. So, combining work ethics with professional skills invites success to a celebration, and that celebration is all about you. So, at the workplace, employers are looking for increased productivity, promptness, dependability, and positive contributions to teamwork. So productivity or output per head can be translated into assignment output of the student. So promptness would mean being punctual not only for school, but to be on time for all classes during the day. Dependability is a crucial factor at the workplace, which at the school level would be to take responsibility for work missed when absent and also take responsibility for doing the necessary reading task and come prepared to school. The last factor of positive contributions in a team would translate into demonstrating a positive attitude in class and being an active participant. So here are some of the factors that limit productivity of workers. A study done by Hinish was designed to determine what factors most influence the productivity of state government workers in the United States. And the research question asked, what, if any, factors are perceived by state government workers as most affecting their workplace productivity? And the most frequently noted factors limiting productivity were poor supervision and management, poor communications, low budget or insufficient staff, and poor pay or no recognition. So respondents also identified favorable workplace factors, including autonomy and freedom, the job itself, and a sense of achievement and working as part of a team. So, this study runs in a similar vein as that of the Society for Human Resource Management, which found that poor management was the primary cause of low productivity. So, Pomeroy et al. Indicated that inefficient planning of work and organizational structure by management, followed by poor management leadership in demonstrating and leading change, are the two greatest obstacles to productivity in US corporations. So other important factors that limit productivity are the following. Number one, sleep deprivation. So we need a set amount of sleep. So cutting an hour or two off our sleep cycle is not going to help us. In fact, sleep deprivation can significantly lower productivity. So make sure you get enough sleep, because when you do, you'll notice that you'll be able to concentrate and make better decisions that at work and in life. Second is stress and anxiety. So, stress and anxiety do not only harm our physical and mental health, but they damage our ability to stay focused and to remain productive. So, this inevitably leads to reduced creativity and a higher error rate at work. So, if you are struggling with stress or anxiety, it's essential to acknowledge the issue, determine the source, and to find a way of managing them. And next is distracting environment. So we all face distractions at work every single day. So there are some unavoidable distractions like coworkers with urgent questions or outside traffic. But considering the fact that it takes about 25 minutes to refocus after each distraction, it's a good idea to eliminate the distraction in work that we can control. So, for example, turn off social media and email notifications, use noise canceling headphones, and put your smartphones in a drawer. Doing these things will help you to become more productive. Next is lack of motivation. So, have you ever found yourself in a place where you have a lot of urgent tasks to do, but no motivation at all to work on them? So, in the end, you go to bed to watch Netflix. Well, the truth is, you are not alone. So, loads of people feel this way. At some point, we all go through days when our energy is extremely low and trying to find a tiny chunk of motivation is hard. There are a number of reasons why we feel like this. It could be tiredness, low self esteem, or feeling overwhelmed by a task. So, the key is to find the reason so you can fix the problem. Sometimes, all we need to do is take a short break from work, remind ourselves of the important things we have already achieved, and divide the task into smaller pieces. So, this will increase productivity in the end. So, more recently, Longnecker and Lefakis found that one overriding factor resulted in improved productivity in the modern workplace, and that factor is revealed in the following statement. So, white collar productivity improvement requires effective leadership on a variety of fronts. So, their conclusion is that leadership seems to be the single most influential factor affecting productivity in today's workplace. So, an HR focused study cited streamlining procedures and improving communications as central to productivity improvement. So, from the continuous quality improvement movement, Duran made a concrete connection between quality improvement and productivity improvement. Thus, the improvement in quality results directly in an increase in productivity. So, on a personal note, here are some of my advices to improve your productivity. Number one is to track time. So before attempting to improve anything, it's always good to analyze your current situation. So time tracking is an excellent way of monitoring the time it takes you to complete various tasks. So ask yourself, how much time do you spend on each task? And are those tasks equally important? Once you have this information, you can determine which areas need to be changed or modified. Next is stop multitasking. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that taking care of two or three small tasks at once will save you time. It does not work like that. So plan, prioritize, and concentrate on just one thing at a time. So this way, you will finish your work faster and with fewer errors. Next is to take breaks. So humans can stay focused on a task for a limited time only. So giving your mind and body time to recharge is crucial for productivity. You can try the popular Pomodoro technique. So the idea here is simple. You alternate 25 minutes of work with 5 minutes of rest. And after four rounds, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes to refresh. If you feel that more extended intervals would work better for you, so feel free to adjust the schedule. The main point is to take regular breaks. So next is to figure out your peak hours. So some people are more productive in the morning and others work better in the evening. So understanding when you are the most creative and energized is key to creating a schedule that works for you. So think about the most important task you have to complete and plan to do it during your peak hours. So for example, my peak time for me mga siguro 8 to 10 p.m. So whenever I have exams, long exams ganyan, so yun yung peak hours ko. Doon talaga ako nag-aaral sa time na yun. So learn your peak hours. Next is to follow the 2-minute rule. So if you see that you have a task that you can do in 2 minutes or less, don't waste precious time adding it to your to-do list. Just do it immediately. You will be surprised at how quick this simple rule can boost your productivity. Lastly, done is better than perfect. So remember that in many cases, perfectionism is just another form of procrastination. So complete a task to the best of your ability and move on. So, with the pandemic outbreak spreading around the world, more people are now working from home. We are all now facing new challenges while working in this new environment. And staying productive is a big problem for lots of people. So, here are some additional tips on how to stay productive when you are working from home. First is to create a schedule and stick to it. It's not that easy to maintain a work life balance when your job has moved into your living room. So, assign yourself work hours and do not attempt to finish tasks outside these hours. So, all the other time is home time. Next is get dressed. Staying in your pajamas the whole day long might be tempting, but this will definitely lower your productivity. Instead, help your brain to get ready for work by giving it some signals you're about to start work. So basically, do the things you usually do before you went to work. Take a shower, brush your hair, and get dressed. Next is to designate a workspace. So of course, not everyone has a separate office in their home, but at least set aside some space where you can focus on your work and keep it organized. And lastly, get outside. So do not underestimate the power of sunlight and fresh air. Even a quick walk around the block can do wonders for your productivity levels. So here are some of the key points. So a positive work ethic begins with one main ingredient, that is real work. So the work ethic you develop in school can also transfer to the workplace once you start your career. So holding key traits such as attendance, character, teamwork, appearance, and attitude add value to both you as a person and your company. And lastly, stay balanced. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Blessy, for sharing with us your experiences and learnings. I'm sure the things you shared about keeping ourselves in check in terms of our attitude, ethics, productivity, and of course, practicing work-life balance. No, it will definitely help our college students navigate through the challenges and opportunities that they are and will be facing later on, especially when they join us in the workforce. So thank you very much, Paul. Now is the time to further enrich our learnings as we address your questions in our open forum. So may we call on Ms. Diane Rodriguez, the guidance counselor in charge of the College of Business Administration, to be our facilitator.
Thank you, Ms. Lira. Pleasant afternoon to our speakers and to our students. Thank you so much for being with us here today. All right, so before we begin the open forum, I just want to remind our dear participants that we want to make this webinar a safe and respectful place for sharing. So let us respect the confidentiality of the information we hear and respect the integrity of our fellow students. Thank you so much. Now let's proceed to the questions for our open forum. From the pre-registration first, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to type it in our chat box and then we will address it later. All right, so let's proceed now to the first question. The first question is, what are the essential ethics in the workplace?
So, parang yung question po is, it translates into parang what are the traits employers are seeking in good employees, right, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Apo. So when hiring new employees, it is not always just what the applicant knows that makes for the best candidate. So information can be taught, experience weighs heavily in many hiring practices. So first impressions in the interviewing process influence decisions. So hard skills are certainly critical in many positions. However, many intangible traits are needed for the employee to be successful. So these are more difficult to ascertain in candidates, but the soft skills ultimately make the difference in success and failure. So work ethics, as I've discussed, encompasses many of these traits. So reliability, dependability, dedication, productivity, etc. So can you find employees who possess all of these characteristics? So it may seem an impossible task. Hiring and retaining employees who have these traits is a challenge, but it is worth the effort. So these traits are relative to each other, and personality plays an important part, as does ensuring that person is culturally a good fit for the organization.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, how do work ethics and attitude affect productivity?
Okay, so work ethics, attitude, and productivity are interrelated in the work environment. So to maximize your employees' productivity, you need to foster an environment in which positive attitudes dominate and people develop strong work ethics. So when someone has a strong work ethic, they get the job done and have a daily routine that accomplishes goals systematically. So generally, a positive attitude increases productivity. If either attitude is askew, productivity can drop. So additionally, if someone feels dejected because he missed, for example, a target goal, his attitude might become more negative, and he might not exhibit the same work ethic as he had before. So this can be the beginning of a downward spiral in efficiency, productivity, and employee satisfaction.
All right. Thank you, ma'am, for that. So we have another question here. The third question is, what can you do if your workplace has a toxic environment?
Mhm. So that's a tough question. So since it takes time to find a new job and you can't just walk away from this difficult situation immediately, so it helps to develop ways to handle the dysfunction until you can step into a new job somewhere else. So first is to find people who feel the same way you do. So develop friendships with people who feel the same way as you. So the hope is that you'll watch each other's back and will share any news with a group. Second is to do something after work that can help relieve stress. So go to the gym, do home repairs, or learn a new skill. The key is to make sure you're living a fulfilling life outside of work to combat the drama of your office hours. Next is to document everything you do. And lastly is to start your exit strategy. It is possible that things could improve at your job, in which case it might make sense to stay. However, while waiting it out, begin your search for a new job. So this will help you stay positive when things get tough. So if you needed to leave yesterday, consider a bridge job that will keep you active while you find something in line with your career.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for those wonderful answers. So we have the fourth question. Can you provide tips on how to better release stress-related work?
So you mean
Work-related stress, sorry.
ma'am, how do you cope with stress?
Yes, ma'am. If you can provide tips, if you have personal practice that you do.
Well, first thing you need to do is to track your stressors. So keep a journal for a week or two to identify which situations create the most stress and how you respond to them. So taking notes can help you find patterns among your stressors and your reactions to them. So develop healthy responses instead of attempting to fight stress with fast food or alcohol. Do your best to make healthy choices when you feel the tension rise. So exercise is a great stress buster. So take time to recharge, learn how to relax, get some support, talk to your friends. So accepting help from your trusted friends and family members can improve your ability to manage stress.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So may we ask you, ma'am, like, how do you maintain self-confidence, especially pag nagkakamali minsan sa work? What are your practices to help you maintain and keep your self-confidence?
It's natural din kasi talaga na everyone makes mistakes. So ako, yun nga, hindi naman sa indifferent ka na, pero you embrace yourself, parang ganun. So parang, tsaka kapag kunyari ma'am, may mga ganong problem, kunyari napagalitan or something, so you find ways to redeem yourself. Yung din kasi sa mindset. So parang instead of parang magmukmuk ka sa isang tabi, find ways to redeem yourself, 'di ba? Hindi naman pwedeng forever malungkot ka na lang. So you find ways then to improve yourself.
Thank you, ma'am, for that. So we have another question, ma'am. Like, how were you able to manage your time, especially when you were in your med school?
When I was in, kasi ako ma'am actually probinsyana po ako, no? So college na ako napunta dito sa Manila. So at the start, medyo may adjustment period. So nung una, wala ako kasi akong friends nung college. Nung una. So after school, diretso bahay, then review notes, ganyan. Pero nung nagkaroon ako ng friends, so may time ka nang lumabas. So yun sinabi ko kanina sa lectures, to stay balanced, no? So kahit sa med school, though sobrang ano yun eh, parang puro aral, as in puro aral siya. Ano ako, I take time to unwind. So, nanonood pa rin ng movies, nagbabasa. Mahilig kasi ako magbasa, ma'am. So, yun yung way ko na mag-distress. At saka mag-walk. Jogging, walk, ganyan. So, para to clear your mind.
Another question, ma'am, is that of course when you're new in the workplace, how can you connect or how can you bond with the new people that you're going to work with? In your experience, ma'am, how are you able to connect with your colleagues?
Well, ano lang, be true to yourself lang. So, you need to stop comparing yourself to others and yung parang, kumaga, basta be yourself. So, lahat naman ng positive traits mo, lalabas naman yan when you feel like you're closer to that person, di ba? So, yun lang, be yourself, be confident, and be kind to yourself. Yun lang.
Ayan, ma'am. We have another question po from our students. So, how would we apply what we have learned today if we are on a work from home setup?
Well, same things apply. I mean, all the things I've discussed also apply to a work from home setup, like attendance. Even if you're working from home, if you have scheduled meetings or classes, you have to be on time. So appearance also. Even if you're at home, if it's a formal event, you have to be on proper attire. So it's a sign of respect din kasi to your superior and colleagues. So of course, character. Diyan na papasok yung integrity, honesty, discipline. So all of those traits are innate din kasi. So, ayun. So, same thing applies sa work from home setup.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, for you, because of course it's the pandemic is still uncertain, it's still ongoing, what are your practices, ma'am, para po mag-increase or ma-maintain natin yung ating productivity while we are working from home?
So, first is to develop a new routine. So, our old routines may not be applicable to our new environment. So, as classes go online and you find yourself increasingly isolated, it can be easy to become overwhelmed. So, doing your best to plan out your days in advance will help you think carefully about how you really want to be spending your time and hold you accountable. So, creating a good schedule makes it easier to stay up to date with your classes and assignments. So, get good sleep, pursue self-care, and spend time on personal interests. Yun, diniscuss ko kanina, find a dedicated study space, take breaks, get in touch with your friends, and finally is to stay active. So by getting some fresh air outside, staying indoors all day can really be bad for your mental health. And even going for a short walk can be a good change of scenery. So staying active can also help your immune system, which is especially important during this pandemic.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So to our students who are joining us now in Zoom and via YouTube Live, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to type in your questions to our chat box or in the comment section of the YouTube, and so that you can ask our resource speaker your questions. All right. So we have another question here. Ma'am, what is the possible problem why other workers are resigning from their jobs?
So, as I've discussed kanina, so why do professionals leave and what can you do to prevent an employee from resigning? So, number one reason is the limited growth at the company. So, professionals have a strong desire to grow at the company, and a lack of growth opportunity is one of the two top reasons why employees leave a job. So, recognizing hard work and acknowledging employees for a job well done, in addition to setting a clear career path in place, can make employees feel like they have a long-term future at the organization. Second, yung feeling underpaid. So salary is another top reason. So employees can easily find out what their peers in other companies are earning, which makes them acutely aware of their market value. So offering competitive salaries and other benefits can thus motivate them to stay. Keep in mind though that not every resignation is financial in nature. So and that uncovering other underlying factors may necessary to retain an employee. And third, yung no longer feeling no longer challenged. So good employees don't want mindless work. So they want to be engaged with their work and feel like they're continuously learning. So, and lastly, yung feeling undervalued. So employees want recognition for their work. So when a company ignores an employee's accomplishments, they may seek value elsewhere, such as with a new job. So if in the future you become a manager, a boss, supervisor, so implement a system that validates good workers so that your employees feel like an integral part of the company.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have our final question here. How can you maintain your sanity if you have a toxic office mate?
So parang yun din yung question kanina, ma'am, no? Yung how do you deal with the toxic work environment? Parang ganun.
Yes, ma'am. Ito naman po siguro particularly with another person.
So ano pa rin, same thing. So keep calm. Communication, syempre. Tawag dito, you communicate lahat ng misgivings, lahat ng problems na nakikita mo, and then talk with each other. And yun nga, find people sa job mo who feel the same way you do. Hindi para magchismis or something. But to it's in the hope na you'll have each other's back. Parang may back ka sa work. Ang ganun. Pero yun nga, be calm, listen, and communicate.
And thank you, ma'am. It's like finding allies, parang
Yes.
friends. Ayan.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So that's all the time we have for our open forum. Thank you so much, guys, for your questions. And thank you so much, Dr. Blessy, for answering our students' question. Back to you, Miss Lyra.
Thank you very much. Thank you to our students for sharing your questions with us via our pre-registration, Zoom chat box, and the YouTube comment section. And of course, thank you very much to Ma'am Dayan and to Dr. Prieto for enthusiastically answering the questions of our attendees and viewers. At this point, let us show our appreciation to our invited resource person by presenting our certificate of recognition. So please allow me to read the citations. University of the East, Manila Campus, Guidance Counseling and Career Services Office, this certificate of recognition is hereby given to Dr. Blessy Prieto for being the resource speaker in the GCCSO webinar, Weep It, or Work Ethics, Attitude, and Productivity webinar, given this 25th day of November 2021, signed by the Director of GCCSO, Dr. Maria Leonila V. Urea. Congratulations, and thank you very much again, Dr. Blessy. As we approach the end of the program, please allow us to make a few announcements for you. First, a self-paced career program for graduating students is now available in the GCCSO Google Classroom. All graduating students are encouraged to accept our invitation to join the Google Classroom and to work on the activities that we have prepared for you there. These will definitely be useful as you go through the process of graduating, job application, and hiring. The activity will be accessible from November 15 to 30, 2021. Second, kindly take note of the following activities that are in line to help you prepare for your career. So on November 24th, that's yesterday, so we had a virtual career talk for graduating students. And tomorrow, we will be having a virtual career fair and mock interview. So this will be helpful for you and your preparation in job application and hiring. And in addition, the exit interview is also scheduled this November to December. So the guidelines for the exit interview can be found in our UE Manila GCCSO Facebook page. We are also requesting our attendees and our viewers to kindly answer the activity evaluation by clicking on the link that will be posted soon in our Zoom chat box and YouTube channel comment section. And we also have a QR code here in our presentation, so you may use your device and scan for that, and it should lead you to an activity evaluation form. Your entries in the activity evaluation will be monitored to serve as your attendance for this afternoon's webinar. and it will be available. The updates on the schedule on when the activity evaluation will be available should be posted also in our UE Manila Facebook page. So stay tuned for that. Students who have successfully filled out our activity evaluation will receive their e-certificates a week from today in their UE email addresses. And finally, please feel free to reach us in our social media pages. So we have our Facebook page at UE Manila GCCSO, our YouTube channel where some of our students are tuned in this afternoon, or you can send us an email to guidance@ue.edu.ph for your concerns and questions, especially those related to individual or career counseling inquiries. And that's it. I hope you were all able to note the important dates for your upcoming career activities because a lot is in store for you. So see you all there and in our upcoming activities. To formally end this afternoon's program, let us sing all together our UE hymn.
Pamantasan ka naming mahal, ilaw sa kaiblan. Buhay, lakas, punong damay, pamantasan ka ng bayan. Ang pangalan mo ay malhati at sandigan ka ng pamantasan ng silangan, pamantasan ka naming mahal, pamantasan ka naming mahal, ilaw sa kalimlan. Buhay, lakas, tunong damay, pamantasan ka ng bayan. Ang pangalan mo ay luwalhati at sandigan ka ng lahi. Pamantasan ng silangan, pamantasan ka naming mahal.
Thank you very much once again to our attendees. And just a follow-up reminder, the activity evaluation form will be open and accessible until 12 noon tomorrow, November 26, 2021. Many thanks once again to our students, school officials, and administrators and faculty who are with us this afternoon. Please keep safe and healthy and see you again in our upcoming activities. So we will be ending our YouTube live soon, but for those who are still inside Zoom, please do not leave yet for our photo opportunity. Thank you, everyone. Keep safe.